look like Bria Hartley just got instant karma, bro. She out for the season. I'm here to tell you the most dirtiest player in the WNBA contract has been written, bro. And I'm here to tell you she's out for the season. Yes, you heard me correct.
Did the WNBA just witness instant karma? Indiana's Sophie Cunningham suffers a season-ending torn MCL after a controversial collision. Then days later, Connecticut's Bria Hartley, the same player in that viral moment, is ruled out for the year with a right knee meniscus tear from practice. Tonight, we cut through outrage, receipts, and reality. What really happened, why fans are furious, and how the Fever are fighting on without Sophie, and still waiting on Caitlin Clark. We'll analyze the play, the reaction, and the league's response, or lack of one. Stay to the end, we've got new context, key interviews, and a sober take on instant karma.
This picture is going viral with Bria Hartley with the sinister grin, right? This malevolent look that's on her face right now. Clearly smiling after injuring Sophie Cunningham, man.
Let's start with the sequence. Cunningham slides into position to help on the baseline. Hartley releases a pass, loses balance, and tumbles into Sophie's plant leg. Cunningham drops immediately, clutching her knee. Trainers rush in. She cannot return and is later diagnosed with a torn MCL, ending her season. The building's energy flips from comeback euphoria to concern. This wasn't just a hard fall. The timing inside an overtime grinder amplified everything. Fans and teammates surround Sophie. The broadcast heads to break as she's helped off. Back home, Fever supporters are devastated and demanding answers.
It's the play that just occurred.
That's like she tries to slide over right there, and Hartley just kind of falls and makes collision with that lower leg. You see her immediately grab it. And she went down hard and was clearly in a lot of pain.
What fueled the fire wasn't only the collision. Online, a still image spreads that appears to show Hartley smiling moments after the play. To some, it looks cold and intentional. To others, it's a split-second face misread out of context. Remember, one frame can't prove malice, and social media rarely waits for nuance. The intent debate explodes, dirty play, or awful accident in a physical league. We'll parse the pattern claims next, but our editorial line is simple. Judge the sequence and the season, not a single frozen image.
Oh, and Cunningham is down. My goodness. Should be. A scary moment as we went to commercial. Sophie Cunningham hit the floor hard, and she is being helped off the floor, heading back to the locker room.
Why did that image hit so hard? Because fans had receipts. Earlier this year, Hartley's physicality was a headline, ejected after a late-game scuffle, whistled in another dust-up, and called out for a hair grab on Angel Reese during a rebound battle. Each incident alone is survivable. Together, they build a perception problem. That perception poured gasoline on the Sophie clip. Is that fair to Hartley? Debate it. But the timeline is the timeline, and perception drives public judgment.
Sophie Cunningham, let's be clear here. Sophie Cunningham was targeted. Let's be very, very clear here. But Sophie Cunningham was flat out targeted by a dirty play.
The conflict didn't stop on the court. Off it, Sophie's family, and a chunk of the fan base, blasted officiating inconsistency, swallow the whistle on heavy contact one night, then call ticky-tack the next. Meanwhile, Sophie says she keeps getting fined for speaking on officiating, part of a running feud between players and the league over where the line is. Her sister Lindsay posts that the WNBA should protect athletes first. The message: punish dangerous play, not just criticism.
Making all kind of excuses to say that Bria Hartley is not a dirty player. Let me tell y'all something, man. Come on in here, man. Let me tell y'all something. If it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, eats like a duck, it's a duck, man. Come on, man. She is the dirtiest player in the WNBA right now, winning the trophy. All right, winning the trophy for her. Don't sit here and try to tell me Bria Hartley is not a dirty player.
Here's the twist. On her own podcast, Sophie cools it down. She calls it a basketball play, says she and Bria are friends, and insists there was no ill intent. That restraint, after a season-ending diagnosis, speaks loudly. Public rage wants villains. Athletes often live in gray. Sophie navigates both, fire when defending her family, grace when discussing the player in the collision. The result? Fans see a fuller person, not just a headline.
Atkins, 7 to shoot. Cardoso rolls, catch. Cardoso over the top, can't get it. Reese fights for the rebound, and a foul, and this time gets a little chippy, and a shove on Nelson Adota. And listen, this arena, typically we'll see some ringside fights.
Then Connecticut drops a bombshell. Bria Hartley is out for the season with a right knee meniscus tear suffered in practice. The announcement arrives while the discourse over Sophie is still white-hot. Instantly, the internet frames it as karma, a cosmic balancing of the scales. That narrative writes itself, but facts matter. Hartley's injury is unrelated to the game incident and happened at practice. Still, timing is everything in sports stories, and this timing was uncanny.
So Mike put this up about an hour ago. He said to all of those defending Bria Hartley, look at what she liked on Instagram. Emo, she's the dirtiest player in the league and should be kicked out. Most recently, Sophie Cunningham has been hurt with the knee tear and is out for the season. Look at this. Look at this. Now, Bria is the definition of consistency. Now, this is her liking this. This is her liking this post. Y'all see that? Breezy, 1-4, and others. Bria is the definition. She's liking this post. Look at this. Death taxes and Bria Hartley always being at the scene of the crime. Now, that's her choke slamming Angel Reese.
Let's be crystal clear. Injuries are never justice. We understand why fans felt vindicated by the symmetry, but celebrating a torn knee, any knee, is not it. Players are colleagues with shared risks. The Fever lose a heart and soul guard. The Sun lose a rotation piece in a playoff push. The league loses talent on both sides. Hold the league accountable for consistency and safety, yes. Demand better standards, absolutely. But keep compassion at the center.
Indiana Fever fans wake up pissed off today. Pissed off. Not only are we getting assaulted, but they're smiling about it. This is the 6th time they smiled, laughed, and cheered on our Indiana Fever players getting assaulted, getting injured. And it pisses me off.
On court, Indiana refused to fold. Kelsey Mitchell detonates for 38 in an overtime comeback over Connecticut, tying her career high, passing Tamika Catchings for most 30-plus games by a Fever player, and grabbing Eastern Conference Player of the Week. It's the kind of veteran answer that stabilizes a locker room after bad news. 11 in OT. Shot making under pressure. And a message to the East. This team still has punch.
Maybe you should focus your sister. Maybe you should focus less on fining players for commenting on your poor officiating and more about hiring officials that are capable to call a consistent game and protect your athletes. Pathetic. Praying for you. The only good thing positive surrounding Sophie Cunningham coming out of this game, she looked in good spirits in the locker room.
With Sophie sidelined, minutes and responsibility shift. Lexi Hull's footprint grows. Defense first, spacing second, leadership always. Recently, she was tapped for the WNBA three-point contest when Caitlin Clark couldn't go, and she strung together timely shooting stretches in real games. Hull doesn't need 25 to matter. She lifts lineups with energy, weak side rotations, and shot readiness. In a survival month, those margins matter. Where does Caitlin Clark stand? As of this week, she remains out with a right groin injury, ramping carefully with the medical staff. Multiple reports list her out game to game while she builds back contact tolerance. If she returns, even in limited bursts, the gravity she brings reshapes matchups and releases pressure on Mitchell and Hull. If not, Indiana must keep grinding with defense and tempo control. Either way, the Fever's resilient identity is set. Zooming out, this isn't one team's problem. The W needs a firmer, clearer standard on contact above and below the waist, verticality at the rim, and late-game physicality. Consistency is safety. Transparent points of emphasis reduce conspiracy talk and cool the temperature when injuries happen. And when players or families vent, fines can't be the only lever, communication helps. Publish points of emphasis videos weekly. Explain reviews. Protect stars and role players the same. Everyone wins when whistles feel even. To ground this story, stack voices. From Sophie's podcast, her wrong place, wrong time comment about Hartley's intent. From The Fever, post-game reaction about resilience and next woman up. From The Sun, their formal injury update on Hartley. From Family, Lindsay's Protect Your Athletes appeal, paired with our editorial note discouraging harassment. This blend humanizes everyone, the injured, the accused, and the teams coping in real time. Let's slow build the sequence responsibly. Frame 1, Sophie sets help position. Frame 2, Hartley releases the pass. Her momentum carries into Sophie's lower leg. Frame 3, contact at the knee, non-weight-bearing collapse. This is classic lower extremity risk, unpredictable mass plus planted limb. We highlight mechanics, not motives. The telestrator marks feet, hips, and trajectory. Our conclusion, dangerous outcome, contested intent. That difference matters, legally, morally, and for league policy. Here's where we land. 2 careers paused. 2 locker rooms adjusting. Fans demanding fairness. The real headline isn't karma, it's care. Care for rehab timelines, for officiating standards, and for how we talk about injured athletes. Indiana still has a path. Mitchell cooking, Hull stepping up, Boston anchoring, and the possibility, however small, of a late Clark return. For Sophie Cunningham and Bria Hartley, we wish full, uncomplicated recoveries. For the W, we want clarity and consistency. If you support Sophie, drop a get well in the comments, then like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Up next, our deep dive on how the Fever can scheme offense without Clark. Click on screen.